I can hear it again. The voice. More like a whistle. It is talking to me, forcing me to do things I don't want to do. I wanted to leave, but it's too late now. It won't let me. The tech hunters don't believe me. They call me a drunk and send me off. With every passing hour, the voice in my head is getting louder. It overrides my thinking. I'm slowly turning into saying, I didn't want to hurt those farmers. Please, believe me, it was not me. It was him. I have to follow the whistler. It is awaiting me.
You have heard whispers in the wind, idle chatter in bars, and amongst drifters. There is something in the north, something that drove the bandits insane and set the Leviathans to rampage. Something that's not quite a skeleton and not quite a human. An ancient, a demon, Narco herself. It's hard to pull the truth from the myth, but one thing is certain. Something's up there. Greetings, my fellow Kenshi players, and welcome to the Whistle of the Leviathan Coast. In today's video, I want to discuss a mysterious creature that hides in the northern part of Kenshi. The Whistler is an entity that is not canon to the Kenshi that we know, originally created by Methalina as a concept art that never made it into the game. Members of the community found the model buried deep in the game files, and some of them brought them back to life. Although Chris confirmed that it was not meant to be in the base game and more of a prototype, I personally think that the Whistler fits perfectly into the Scroll world, and it is worth theorizing about it. Since the Whistler is not part of the game without the mod files, keep in mind that nearly everything we delve into today is pure theory. That being said, join me while we dive into the unknown depths of this creature. The mod author has created a background for this creature. He states that the Whistler once belonged to the Second Empire, working alongside Catlon, witnessing the rise and dedication of the Empire, only to start a revolt against Catlon and be enthralled by him, like the others. Seeing how he worked with the Empire opens the possibility of it being a creation of the Ancient Ones. Since they created the skeletons, a hybrid-like creature doesn't seem too far off. Or it could have been done by Catlon and his experiments. As we know, the Second Empire created many specimens. We believe that the hivers and probably many other creatures and animals were birthed under the rule of Catlon. What if, and this is just a what if, Catlon wanted to create a cyborg that is human on the outside, but a skeleton on the inside? Maybe a way to infiltrate the Holy Nation, which was rising up to be a big threat to him. Or a way to solve the starvation that was plaguing the humans under his rule. Whatever the purpose of this creation was, we can only speculate. If we take a closer look at the Whistler's model, it becomes evident that it bears a human form. But underneath the unfinished skin, one can see mechanical parts, indicating that it is a skeleton. Now I know that the game has made it out to be only of skeletal nature, but honestly, if I look at the model, it could be both. A cyborg, if you will. I like to play with the idea that the Whistler was made to be a combination of human and skeleton. Maybe a race that could have strengthened the bond between those two factions. Or, after all, this new race could have brought doom into this world. Whatever might be the case, the chances of us finding out are very slim. Here is also a picture of the Whistler with a head being attached. Nightmare fuel if you ask me, but everything just reminds me of a mixture between skeleton and human. If we take what we've just learned into consideration, and if we say that the Whistler is in fact an enthralled specimen from Catlon, we have to ask ourselves why it got enthralled in the first place. If it is indeed a cyborg after all, a mix between flesh and steel, there is a high possibility that the Whistler revolted against Catlon and was therefore enthralled. The mod author has mentioned this before, but this does not answer the question of what its goal is. Seemingly, the Whistler is driving people and animals alike crazy, but we don't know if this was done on purpose or if that is even the case. Maybe it just wants to communicate, but because of the enthrallment, it is unable to, and the frequency of the Whistlers corrupts the mind of living beings. Maybe a cry for help. Or maybe it has a more malicious intent, twisting the minds of those who hear it, enslaving it to its dark will. A cry of rage and anger for what Catlon has done to it. The Whistler certainly would have been an amazing addition to the world of Kenshi, and thanks to this mod we can also enjoy it. But seeing how much content Chris has already provided us with, I can totally understand why not all of his ideas has made it into the finalized game. Maybe in Kenshi 2 we can see more of these prototypes making it into the base game. Well, this is the end of today's journey. I am fully aware that most of what I talked about today is just a wild theory. But since the Whistler is in the game files and there are some pieces of text pointing at its lore, I knew I had to make a video about it at some point. It would be interesting to know your thoughts on this topic. What could the Whistler be? Is he evil? Is he good? Is he just misunderstood? And what does it want? Anyway, I wish you a great day. Thank you for watching this video. And do not listen to the whistles in the distance. They might turn you crazy.